Hey, I'm Ken. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Stock Market Unfiltered, where we take a candid look / funny at the stock market. We try to be educational. I don't know how good we are sometimes. I think we've done pretty decent lately, especially on some of these calls. And we try to be entertaining. Oh, happy Sunday. Getting ready for the week coming up. Yesterday, drove about an hour and a half from my home and went to a place called the Kashai River. You have to look that up on Google. It's in Windsor, North Carolina, in the county of Berkeley. Beautiful place to go fishing. Although we didn't have any luck. We were out there 3 or 4 hours, but we were strictly bass fishing. So enjoyed the weekend with my son. We had a nice trip. I think the time we got back home and all that, it was our time I got home. It was 10 o'clock last night. I was tired. But felt like I'd been whiplashed about like the stock market this past week. They just can't get away from this financial crisis, is what they want to call it. And that's fine with me. That was a buying opportunity. Remember I told you about TFC? Last time we were on, I was keying an order in live. That order got hit. It got keyed in. But before I get to TFC, what started all this was PacWest Bancorp, ticker symbol is PACW. Their stock right now is $5.76. That's plus 81% from Thursday's close to Friday's close. Before that, it was way down. It was down. See if I can figure out when it closed. Its 52-week range, by the way, is $2.48. The 52-week high is $32.68, and that $2.48 was this week. On May the 3rd, it was down 50%. And here we go on a rumor again, like we had talked about with Exxon buying PXD. I think it was the same company reported the same thing. They were down 50% after reports / rumor that the executives were looking for a sale. Okay, whatever you say, it's a report. But they also previously had already reported that they were exploring a strategic sale, which would include $207 billion in Linden Finance loan portfolio. They'd already reported that. And I don't know where this person decided to come up and said they were going to sell the whole damn company. Maybe it's people who got shorts on the stock and they got up with the reporters and people who make announcements to tell them to say something bad, so the stock would go down. That would be a conspiracy theory, wouldn't it? It didn't come from my mouth. I just heard that. There's conspiracy theories everywhere. But that's fine. That's a Black Friday sale for me. As I told you, I'm going to relate this to my portfolio strategy that I've talked to you guys about. If you have a good stock and it's down for no reason, don't sell it. And I had the perfect example this week, TFC, which is a regional bank. Believe it or not, at the last time I looked, it changes daily sort of, but at the moment, TFC, which I own, is the 10th largest bank in the United States. So it's not like it's about to go, it's a regional bank, but it's the 10th largest one in the whole country. Okay. Remember I told you I bought some at $32.50 and some at $30.50, and my cost basis was $31.50. And I saw the stock go down, and I bought some for $29.12. That was back on May the 2nd. Because I thought it was unnecessarily down at that point. And that's why, $31.50 was my cost basis. I bought it $29.12. I had a great deal. And then the next day, when all this PacWest Bancorp Corporation is a bank in California. I don't know what it is about all these banks in California, along with Western Alliance Bancorp stock was down too. I didn't look up to see where Western Alliance was located at, but it's a small bank too. It has the same problems. But anyway, at $29.12, I bought it at a great price. It on 5.3. Hey, it got down to $28.35. I bought some more at $28.35. I was thinking that's a good deal. And then, and after hours on the same day, this is May the 3rd, I was just happening to be popping up. I was looking at it because I do after hours trade too and get some good deals sometimes. I saw TSC down to $27. I'm trying to figure out why is TFC all the way down to $27 in after hours. There's nothing wrong with the bank because I was pulling up news and everything. And then I found out there was that rumor that PacWest Bancorp in Beverly Hills, California, is where their headquarters is, was being rumored to trying to sell the whole company. That's not true. So that's why. So I got it for $27. But because of that news on the previous day, on the 4th, which was Thursday, they clobbered the bank stock some more. TSC reached a 52-week low of $25 and some odd cent. I don't know what it was, but I said, oh, goody. I bought more at $25.80. Remember, my original cost basis was $31.50. Here I am getting this stock at $25.80. That was a heck of a Black Friday sale when there's nothing wrong with the company. In my opinion, there might be something wrong, but right now, here's a research I've done. I can't find anything wrong with it. They're not stuck in long-term bonds that are losing money, or in large real estate holdings and that, and they're losing money. That's not the way they operate. They operate different. They're a regional bank. They're not into, they've been more to people in my hometown, so to speak. They're more of a local bank, but they're in quite a few states. I mean, be 10th largest bank in America, so. But at any rate, I bought it for $25.80. That was on Thursday. And then finally, PacWest Bancorp came out and said that the rumor was false. That's why the stock went up 81% to $5.76. Remember, this 52-week high is $32.68 for this bank, and it got all the way down to $2.84. It's crazy, or $2.48. It was, like I said, it was down 50% on the 3rd. But anyway, and then TSC closed Friday after I bought it now Thursday for $25.80. That's a great price, a great deal. Yeah, I bought it, or I let it just go right on where it wanted to go. And then on Friday, after PacWest Bank or Bancorp said that was not true about selling the whole company. I got TSC, like I said, for $25 or $28 or $25.80 the day before. And just waiting for it to go up on Thursday, because that's what I thought was going to happen. And it went up to $28.69. That was down from the low sometime Thursday. It was, which was this new 52-week low, which was on 5/4. It's $25.56. I got it for $25.80. Right now, as it was Sunday, but this is what it closed at. $28.69 plus 9.46%. And they kept the dividend at 52 cents. So I'm getting this dividend per share, 52 cents for now, when I bought it for $25.80. At the same price when I bought it at $32.50, it's still 52 cents. But at $25.68 or $25.80, that's quite a bit different between $32.50, like $7 almost. Yeah, that's my strategy in my portfolio. If a stock is good and he is down for no reason, this stock was down in sympathy because of that bank out there in California. And it didn't need to be. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Part about being educational and staying the course. And if you know you have a good stock and you've done your research, and the price to earnings on TFC right at the moment is 6.39, and its quarterly dividend is 52 cents a share, which is 7.25%. You can't put your money in a savings account at a local bank and earn 7.25% interest. And if you're still interested in buying this stock, As long as it's below 29, I think it's still a good price to buy it at. And that's just my opinion. And you can get this stock all the way up and still get the dividend just getting ready to be paid. Ex-dividend date is 5/11. So 5/10 would be the last day you could buy this stock and still get the dividend that they're going to pay out on June the 1st. So that's my take on TFC and PHCW, PacWest. See what happens. So let's go to Apple. They reported earnings on Thursday. That's pretty good. They did a really good job. Their earnings per share were $1.52 versus what they expected it to be was $1.43. Their revenues, $94.84 billion versus $92.96 billion. The stock market after it reported was up $3, $4, $5, up to 171.33 in after hours. So that was Thursday. So they had a really good good report as far as I was concerned. And then on top of that, well, our 52-week high, by the way, is 176.15. And 52-week low is 124. I can find it there. 124.17. And they also raised the dividend by 4 cents. This company don't pay a big of a dividend, but the stock price is high. But they raised the dividend to 24, or not the dividend, but they raised the price by 4%, the dividend 4% to 24 cents a share. And that works out to be about 0.5455% yield. Which ain't all that great to me, but most people will hold Apple. It's a good stock. It's got good growth. I mean, it's gone from this year, matter of fact, it was $124.17 back on January of this year. And now we're up to $176 just to keep the number round. Or 173, 176, 52-week high. But my point is in 4 months, we've gone from $124 to $173. So that's a $49 move. You can't complain about that. Because it's at 173.57 now. It's up. It was up $7.78 on Friday after it reported earnings on Thursday night. So that's a good stock. They also announced a $90 billion stock buyback, which is always good because the stock, when a company buys back stock, when they get that stock back, they usually cancel it. So there's less shares available. So there's less shares available. That's more money that you're getting paid per dividend or per share that you have, because there's less shares out there to pay a dividend on. They usually cancel the shares, and I mean, there's less shares available to buy. It's good for the shareholder. It makes the stock go up. Supply and demand. You got less supply, high demand, price goes up. Same thing with stocks. So, and I had another. I'll talk about it. There's a couple more. These 2 stocks are in my portfolio. I won't name them, so we'll talk about them one day. But one of them, I was really happy about. It had an earnings surprise. I like when they have earnings surprises. They were supposed to be 40-cent earnings per share, EPS. 40 cents. Guess what? It was 62 cents. A 22-cent beat. Yeah. On the and this stock had been clobbered. It's a Realty Trust bank, or a stock, not a bank, but a stock. They had all these commercial real estate and real estate. They've been crushed lately, and I've been crushed in this stock, but that's okay. I keep buying more of it. It's paying a dividend of 40 cents a share. And the stock price on it was under 10 now, and it was up. And it was up 84 cents after they announced their earnings Thursday. To 7.7% gain Friday. So that was good for me. I was happy about it. And they increased the dividend from 40 cents to 42 cents. That's like a 14% yield. That's like me putting the money in a savings account and getting 14%. This stock price, I mean, the money I got in it, I'm getting, as far as I'm concerned, 14.18%. That's before, that's the last price, the last percent that's up here before the dividend increase. And so I was happy. It was up big. Then I have another one. It's a utility company. And this is one that I'm talking about. You have to be. They beat their earnings per share. They beat their revenue. But here's the kicker. I talked about guidance. They blew away both the earnings per share and the revenues. But they guided their earnings per share for the second quarter a little bit lower. I think the Wall Street, or the street, I call it Wall Street, but I mean just the street in general would be all the analysts. Expected, I think, 78-cent earnings per share for the second quarter. This past quarter, I think they earned 99 cents a quarter, and they were expecting 97 or something, so they beat it. Not a lot, but they still beat it. And I think this second quarter was 78 cents, and they guided something like 58 to 68. So they didn't like that, so they obviously took the stock down based on guidance. And eventually, I guess they looked at it. I mean, a lot of companies are guiding lower and stuff, but still, the whole point is they, since they guided lower, the stock went down. And it was down at one time quite a bit. It recovered to being down 8 cents. So I'll call that a win. So that tomorrow they'll probably forget about the earnings. But this company, the stock prices are in the mid-50s. It runs in the mid-50s. But the dividend is 4.73%, and they pay 0.6675, which is 66 3/4 of a cent per share there, every share you have. So they pay that dividend. So that was Friday. It was a good day for most of my stocks on board. All of my stocks beat the earnings that I have. All of them beat it. And this one here is utility company. It's the only one that guided a little lower, but everybody else beat it. And then, so I was happy with that result. It was a pretty good day for me, actually. The Dow was plus 546 points, which is the Dow 30 I'm talking about. The S&P 500 was plus 75, and the NASDAQ, I think, was plus 269. So it was a pretty good week for the NASDAQ. So, all right. So this week, what we got going on? We kind of got past the FRC debacle, which is First Republic, that got bought out by J.P. Morgan Chase on Monday, and Tuesday there was no reaction. And when Wednesday and Thursday got here, because of the PACW Bank in California, all the financials went down crazy. You can't have a bull market without financials being at least halfway decent. That's my opinion. You can't have financials being down and expect to be a bull market. But I believe the financials are going to be fine this week, so we'll see. There's no bad news coming, I don't reckon. But we got past the First Republic ordeal. We've gotten past the FMOC meeting, which I told you they raised a quarter of a point. We got past the jobless numbers and CPI and all that on Friday, which was a little hot. The jobless numbers that new people get just like 200 and some thousand, way over what they thought it was going to be. And I think the unemployment, to hold me to it, I think it was 3.5 and they were, or 3.4, and they were expecting 3.6. So both those numbers were a little hot, but the stock market kind of shrugged it off, I guess. So we got one final thing to go through, or hurdle, and that's the U.S. debt limit ceiling is about to be reached, which means we can't borrow any more money or do anything when we reach that debt ceiling limit. And everybody's talking about this. Even when Janet Yellen says it's going to be a crisis if Congress doesn't do something to raise this debt ceiling. I can't imagine them not doing something. This debt ceiling is getting really close. About June the 1st, so the more and more they don't do something about it, the more you're going to hear about talking about it. And eventually, it's going to start affecting the stock markets, and they're all going to go down probably, and they're all going to be panic selling. That's great for me because that's a Black Friday sale, because the government is eventually going to raise this debt ceiling. Sooner or later, they're going to have to raise it, or the economy would be in a tank. It'd be like flushing the toilet. It would be in a tank. So that's the final hurdle we got to go through. There's quite a bit of earnings again this week. There's some big companies up there. If I see one that's, I don't remember all of them, there's so many of them, there's hundreds of them reporting. And I may come back maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, and we'll talk about if there's some big ones coming up that might move the market. We'll talk about that. So I'll get you ready for the week. And that's my take on the financials this past week. Like I said, every day we're talking about financial until we get through this crisis. But I'm still going to talk about it. I haven't forgot about it. Aristocrat stocks and champion stocks. Just give you a list of some of those that you might be interested in. We're still going to talk about them. When we're going to do it. So anyway, you guys have a really good rest of the day on Sunday, and have a great week. I appreciate you guys listening and watching. Have a good one.